All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Ebonie again, a.k.a. Fit Mom Diva of Simplicity Health Style, and today we have Miss Sydney with us. How are you, Sydney?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and sharing wisdom with us. And for those of you that do choose to stick around to the end, as a form of appreciation, you will have an opportunity to earn a complimentary gift. So let's listen to what Miss Sydney wants to share with us today. So Sydney, so that we get to know a little bit about you, can you share with us one motivational quote that really inspires you, something that encourages you, motivates you, and gets you going?
Sure. So I chose a quote by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It was kind of hard because I actually have like a journal of quotes that I kind of like reflect on. But I thought this one, a little lengthy, was a good one. It says, "For what it's worth, it's never too late, or in my case, too early, to be whoever you want to be. There's no time limit. You can start whenever you want. You can change or you can stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. We can make the best or the worst of it, and I hope you make the best of it. I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things that you've never felt before. I hope you meet people who have different points of view than you. I hope you have live a life that you're proud of, and if you're not, I hope you have the courage to start all over again."
Nice. I love that. I love that. And that kind of, goes into our next topic. How can you relate that to a time in your life where you didn't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel and you had to overcome some obstacles, there were some challenges in place, and maybe you didn't see yourself getting through it and needed, some uplifting words like that. How was that experience for you, and how were you able to get to the end and bring that goal or that dream to fruition?
Sure. So when I hear this question, it's funny because my mind goes exactly to one thing. And it's kind of something I'm going through right now, honestly. So I suffer from chronic hip pain. And for years, I've been struggling to get diagnosed with anything to kind of explain why I'm a 25-year-old in pain. And every time you go to the doctor, especially as a young woman, especially, you kind of hear like, it'll go away, or you're young and healthy. I heard you're a healthy 22-year-old, you're a healthy 23-year-old, you're a healthy 24-year-old. And now I'm 25, and I've just kind of been struggling to kind of feel heard in that space. And so luckily I'm kind of I see the light at the end of the tunnel now. But for those years that I was kind of explaining that something's wrong, because I think, especially again as women, we know our bodies really well. Our bodies go through amazing things daily, monthly, and forever. And then I also grew up an athlete, so I know pain. I know what's good pain and bad pain, and sore and injury. And so to not be taken seriously, I kind of found myself just in this cycle of like, am I crazy? Am I making this up? Why is no one taking me seriously? Is nothing wrong with me? And I had kind of taken my pain and some other symptoms I was having as thinking that I could possibly have endometriosis, which for people who don't know what that is, it's a chronic reproductive disease. I recommend going and checking it out. But I had kind of convinced myself this is what it is. And so when no one was taking me seriously and I was having x-rays and ultrasounds, I kind of kept thinking, well, maybe I don't have anything wrong with me. And so my goal has always been, of course, to not be in pain anymore, but kind of just be taken seriously and have answers. And so luckily I was privileged enough to where I'm able to search out doctors, have good health insurance, and I kind of just remain active and took myself as the expert on my own body and wasn't going to take no as an answer. And so luckily I found a specialist at Mercy Hospital in Baltimore. They have an endometriosis center. And so I met with her at the end of December. And within 5 minutes, she was like, my medical opinion is that there's over a 50% chance this is what it is. And so that was really, I was like, oh, I met a goal. Like somebody took me seriously and I'm not going crazy. And it's funny because I say I'm kind of going through it now because the only way to diagnose this is surgery. And either I have a chronic illness or I don't. And then what is my pain then? Kind of, I'm back to square one. And so it's very easy to fall back into that thinking again of that fear of like, well, if nothing shows up, what's wrong with me? And so I kind of think that quote fits in really well, because it's like every day is a new beginning, is a new start, and you can choose to make the most of it, and you can choose to look at the situation positively and look at, even a month ago, I was not where I am today, and even having somebody affirm what I'm going through. And so just being active and knowing myself and kind of pushing for my answers and taking day by day has kind of been great. And we're still looking for that light. Sometimes I think it's like a traffic light that is maybe not working at the moment, because I don't know what light it's going to be on when I get to the end of the tunnel. But that's where we're at.
I love that. And you gave so much detail.
Sorry.
I love that you gave that much detail, though. It really gives us a lot more insight. And it makes me think about also when you're experiencing particularly health related issues, that we begin to value our health that much more when we are at our best, because we know what it's like to have health, quote unquote, lacking. Right. So I think that everyone listening, if you are in good health, just appreciate that. I don't think that I really think about my health too much, and I'm in the health industry until I'm sick. Right. When I was sick a couple of weeks ago with a cold, that's when I realized that, oh yeah, I have a nose and I have a throat. Right. And yeah, I can't very well, talk to as many people as I would have today because I'm not feeling so well. That's when I really think about my health. I don't really necessarily think about it when I'm the most able-bodied. So taking the time to really appreciate our bodies and what it can do for us in its healthiest state, I think is so key. Yes. Can you talk a little bit about support circle and maybe how they were able to support you either through that process or just through life in general? Because a lot of times when people want to, serve others, they want to fulfill a certain purpose, they don't necessarily have the people around them to help them. And particularly when they're down and out, sometimes people feel like there's nobody to help me. I'm always there to help everybody else, but no one is there when I need the help. Right. Okay. Talk about how people can gain support, whatever it is that their goal is or their situation is that they need support for. Sure.
So I think good examples of this is kind of knowing what's being offered in the groups you already take up. I know for myself, when I was in college, in undergrad, I didn't hang around campus. I commuted. I didn't take advantage of anything that was there. And then when I went back for grad school, I really was like, I want to be involved. And I met tons of people because college is such a diverse place that you're meeting people of different ages and races and religions. And I was able to connect with those people really well. And people that I never would have connected otherwise by looking out, does my school have a women's center? Do they have clubs or organizations that you can be a part of that you're going to find similar people who are going through similar things, but also diverse experiences as well, I think is very enriching and can be great support systems. I still talk to a lot of people from grad school, especially after the fact, just because we made those connections. If you're involved in a church or something like that, those things are hard because you still have to be vulnerable to other people. And like you said, you don't really know how people are going to react, if the support's going to be there, if it's the support you need. So I turn to social media a lot, specifically Instagram and Twitter. Instagram, because I'm going through health issues and I'm also active, I train and I run races. And I originally made an Instagram to keep myself accountable for that. And I was like, I'll just post every day. It's great. And then I saw myself posting more about my mental health and my spirituality and my physical health. And, people like it and they find you. Hashtags are a great way to find anybody else who's going through the same thing you are. And then Twitter, especially, people reach out all the time. I just re-downloaded Twitter, not Tinder. And people, I kind of just don't have a lot of followers, so I kind of just use that as like my online journal sometimes. And I recently, I have great support from friends, but no one who's going through something similar for the most part. And so their support sometimes isn't the support I need. And so I took to Twitter and was just like venting my frustrations. And so many people actually found that thread and they were like, this is what people need to know about getting diagnosed with endometriosis. This is what people need to know about women's health and not diminishing experiences. And so I was able to like DM those people and find somebody. And it's a little less daunting because these are people who are from all over the world. So you don't really have to put yourself out there to another person right in front of you. But I think it brings people together so greatly. And it's such a tool that I think is looked down upon a lot of times. But it's definitely useful. I recommend it to everybody if you need to find support that you don't have in your friends or family.
Yeah, and there are so many different platforms online where you can find support in a certain area. And like you just said, all it really requires is to put in a hashtag. A lot of times you'll find a multitude of people with that same question or challenge. And I think that if you're not someone that really wants to, rely on social media, you can find those groups in your local area too. You don't always have to go to your immediate friends and family. They're not always going to understand. Even if they want to support you, they're not really always understanding of what it is that you need that type of help with. So just looking for it, researching. There are people out there. There's no reason why in this world of billions of people, which is something I always say, there's no reason why in this world of billions of people that you can't find at least one person that has a similar concern or a similar issue that you can talk to. And sometimes you only need one person. You don't need 5,000 people. It only takes one listening ear and one person that really is listening, not just half listening with the TV on in the background. They're just actually listening to you. A lot of times when I'm talking to my closest friends, I don't have a big need to now go spread my business to everybody else because I was already able to vent with my closest friends. And that's all it takes sometimes. I think when you don't have that, you think that there are people that you need to tell all your business to. But when you have close confidants, that's all you need. I always refer people that live in the U.S. and for those of you that are listening and you do want a social support system that is not online, I always refer people to meetup.com. And that's an excellent way to meet people. There are so many different types of groups on there, from painting to window washing to traveling. It's just like so many different topics that I would have never thought about putting a group together for that particular topic. So if you can't find anybody, meetup.com is an excellent resource. They do not pay me to say this. I just feel like I've gotten a lot of benefit from it, and I know other people that have.
Not sponsored.
Talk a little bit about taking care of ourselves and sometimes even stepping away from the group to take care of ourselves so that we can have the energy and the vitality to serve others and to put our best foot forward.
I think self-care is so important because I cannot be the best me for anybody, my friends, my family, my boyfriend, anybody, if I'm not the best me for me first. If my gas tank isn't filled, I can't give you anything to keep you moving either. So I think self-care and success and motivation, they are all synonymous to me. And so if I have a goal and I've defined that goal, but along the way, I am not really working towards that definition, or I'm becoming busy, or I'm overloading myself, I'm going to burn out before that goal is ever met. And that's not what I want to see for myself, let alone anybody else. And so I am a firm believer in /preventative self-care. And what I mean by that is I am a strong supporter of therapy. I think therapy is great self-care, and it's there whether you may need it that week or that month or not, but it's a space that you can go to and refuel and recharge, and you can focus on goals because it's what therapy is all about, is reaching your goals, but it's in a constructive way and you can address the issues that are arising. Also, I go to church weekly is some way that I can dedicate time out of my week to just kind of sit and reflect. Also, and this kind of relates back to the health as well, when we were talking about we don't think about our health until we're sick. And I think the flip side of that is also when we are sick, we kind of dwell on the negatives of like, oh, my nose is so stuffed up, I can't breathe. And so I've made it a point to daily kind of just thank my body for everything it's doing and kind of do a check-in of myself every day and say, like, how am I feeling physically? How am I feeling mentally? And how am I feeling emotionally? And even that is self-care. We often think about self-care as like, it's got to be a bath with a bath bomb. And like, I'm a strong supporter of all of that as well. But it's these little things that are kind of checking in with yourself and knowing yourself. Without that, then how do we reach those goals without checking in and knowing what our body's going through? And it can be career goals. I do it with career. I'm like, at the end of the week, do I feel completely burnt out, and why? Or do I feel like I did a good job this week and I'm excited for the weekend, I'm excited for work on Monday? I do it with working out. Am I just in a routine, or am I taking care of my body? Am I working out to fit society working out, or am I doing it to better myself? And so I really think that they're all synonymous. And I think first getting in check with what you're feeling, and then pick some activities. It can be things like therapy and church that you have weekly or monthly to look forward to, but also knowing like, all right, on Thursday, I'm feeling stressed out, I'm gonna watch a movie, and that's okay. Because if you burn out, you're never gonna reach that goal to begin with, and your goal may change moving forward, and how you reach that goal may change, but the end goal is to get there. The goal within the goal, I guess. And so for me, I've just really like take a like very holistic approach to like all of my goals, whether they may be physical, mental, whatever, and kind of make sure that I'm constantly checking my state of mind throughout.
Yes. And I think that, keep in mind that self-care can look different for everybody. It doesn't always require you spending money to get your hair and nails done, although that can be a part of self-care. But sometimes it could be as simple as, I'm going to color in a coloring book. I'm going to go garden. I'm going to go take a quick walk. Just something that feels like you're feeding your spirit and that is meaningful in the moment. And I think that if you could just spend at least 10 minutes a day doing something that's relaxing, by the end of the week, you've just accumulated, 70 minutes. And all you did was 10 minutes a day. And you're sometimes going to exceed that 70 minutes because there might be a Saturday that all you feel like doing is looking at movies all day long, So just being able to take that time to devote to yourself, where you're not doing anything that anybody else wants you to do. It's just whatever you feel like is beneficial to you in the moment. By the end of the year, if you accumulate all those minutes, look at how much you've accumulated.
Right.
So I think that, just realizing that it's important for our next level. I think that I've achieved the most when I felt the most rested, not when I was getting ready to pull out my hair. Even if I kept going through the motions of being busy and I was overly stressed, I feel like I was able to produce the most quality content when I was well rested. So self-care for me is a big part of my life, and I hope that you guys can, continue to schedule it into your lives as well. What would you like to see happen in your life next? Do you have any projects coming up, any type of people that you would like to collaborate with? What's the next goal for you?
So the next goal for me is actually I'm training for my second Ragnar race. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it is a 2-day, 4 to 8 person relay race. And I do the trail relays. So the last one I ran was last August in the Appalachian Trail. And so that was a very big training thing for me. And self-care definitely came in because you have these goals of I need to train X days a week for X miles to meet this. And there were some days where I was like, that's not what I need today. That's not what I need. So right now I'm training for that. And again, juggling, self-care and training and goals and all that. So really what I want out of that one is, again, more fun and peace with that one. The last one, I definitely had fun at the end of it, but the beginning I was like, what did I get myself into? And I had that self-doubt come in, the whole comparison of oh, I didn't do well on this first leg. And so for the next one, I'm really taking it as a way to just again thank my body for everything it's doing, and it's getting me through this. And I'm doing something that brings me joy, and it does bring me joy to do that. So I'm kind of working on that. my Instagram follows my journey. It's Road to Ragnar with an underscore. It's kind of hard to say it in verbally. But
I'll include it in the description box.
Yes.
They don't have to, you guys don't have to go and rush and get a pen and pencil. What she just said, it's going to be in the description box.
Yeah. But it's a great way. Again, I'm not like a runner. I don't have a runner's body. I'm not fast. But I enjoy it. It's something that gives me joy. And so I document that on there. And that's my main goal coming up. I run that in April. So, I have surgery at the end of February and then I run in April. So I'm excited to see what that process looks like and where my body is at. So I'll kind of be documenting all of that and like training and what my health is looking like. And it's a very like that Instagram to me is like therapy too. It's support and therapy because I'm like, today I'm struggling. But that's my new goal coming up. I'm excited to kind of see where I am with the one in April as to where I was in the one in August and what differences I see.
Awesome. Well, that's an excellent goal. And I hadn't heard of that particular type of race. I've heard of other types, but that seems like an awesome goal. And I think that it's kind of cool to have those kind of goals throughout the year because when you do, then it encourages you to stay more consistent with exercising too.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyone that's listening, if you are looking for ways to stay more consistent with your exercise and your nutrition, that's an excellent way to schedule a time where you have a race to run.
Yeah, because I'm like, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it then.
Yeah. I love that you're doing that. And best wishes in advance.
Thank you.
Well, I really do appreciate you and your time. And for those of you that are listening, she is an awesome person to collaborate with. So all of her information will be in the description box. And then all of my information will be in the description box as well. I invite you into my Nutrition for Busy Women Facebook group if you're interested. We are not just talking about nutrition from a food consumption standpoint. We're talking about nutrition for the mind, body, and soul. And I'm all about connecting with ladies that really want to live a life that's according to the things that they really enjoy. Not the things that other people tell you that you should enjoy, but the things that you actually enjoy. And for some of you that are having difficulty discovering what your gifts are, what your strengths are, and what your talents are, I offer a complimentary assessment for those of you that listen to the end and want that focus. I think for me, for a period of time, I was like, I don't know. What do I do? I know what my interests are, but how do I want to utilize those interests? Mm-hmm. So being able to actually sit down and focus in on matchmaking my interests with my strengths, with my personality and my long-term goals, it was helpful in me designing a career that's really fulfilling to me. So I wish the same for all of you as well. Thank you again, Sydney. And anyone that's listening, if you want to share your experiences, I invite you to participate in this interview series and share your successes and share your challenges and share your joys. All of us can benefit from learning a lot from you. Do you have any last words of encouragement? Anything that you would like to put out there just as a reminder for ladies?
For ladies, something you said earlier really resonated with me. And it was a quote I kind of thought about was that, it's never going to lessen my success by supporting another woman's success. And I think that it's so important. And just think about when you're finding support systems and everything, like building each other up is just going to make ourselves stronger as well. And so that's why I think this interview series is great. Thank you so much for having me on here. And just remember to be positive and empowering. And, that's never going to give you bad karma.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And yes, you are exactly right. Building each other up is not going to take away from anything good that can happen to us.
Yes.
So rather than tearing each other down, we can build each other up and a lot of times get much further. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you. And as I said, any of you that feels like this content is relevant and important to you, it probably is relevant and important to someone else, so share it with them so that they can be inspired. And I look forward to connecting with you guys again in our next episode. Wherever you are in the world, just always remember to live a life full of meaning and purpose. I will talk to you guys soon.